So now to segue into the Switch itself.
Yeah.
Jimmy, his review is up.
It's live.
Mm-hmm.
What
did he give it? We don't give scores
I
to
know.
reviews.
He gave it a... There's no joke with the Switch there. There's no easy one. I don't know. But Pete, you've probably spent the most time in the office with it. What's your overall, in a sentence? We're going to talk more than a sentence, but right now, hit me with the synopsis.
The things that Nintendo promised aren't just marketing speak. I definitely felt myself experiencing these, great moments for having a console that is both, portable and something you can play on your TV. And I think it's got great build quality. And in terms of technical performance, it doesn't stand up to PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, but so far I don't care.
Yeah.
For what it is, I think it's really good.
I also think the amount of technology they packed into the Joy-Cons is really impressive. I went to a GDC Switch thing, and the rumble, you can get so many distinct sensations from it.
The HD rumble.
Yeah, it's it's hard to describe, obviously, because it's definitely feeling based. But I was really impressed with it. Just as far as I know, Nintendo just isn't focused on competing with the technical prowess of PS4 or Xbox One, which doesn't matter to me. But I was really impressed with how they hold up and how good they feel to hold. I was really surprised because they're so small. I thought I was gonna feel awkward with it, and I didn't. Mm-hmm. So I really like that too. I like the different controller options, and there's a reason to use all of them. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's overwhelming per se, but I definitely, you first sit down, just like any console, you first sit down and figure it out. But with this, it's okay, I can play a handheld with the Joy-Cons on either side of the tablet. I can dock that and put these in this wireframe essentially to play them that will also charge them.
Mm-hmm. You have to buy the one that will charge them.
Right, we just have that. I can play with the Pro controller. I can play, if I want to play a multiplayer game, which have you done much with the holding the Joy-Cons by itself?
Played a little bit of Snipper Clips at the New York event a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But no, I mean, you've got games like Street Fighter, Bomberman, 1-2. No, 1-2 Switch isn't really like that. But no,
the trailer showed people playing the next Mario Kart like that.
Right. Yeah. So in that sense, it's not ideal. But that said, it's a very sleek solution for multiplayer that I think people will, adapt to when the situation dictates that, hey, let's play some games together. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have two big controllers with me. This is what we've got. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I also really like playing in handheld. I really love handheld gaming, probably because I'm super nearsighted. And playing on the TV, sometimes if the text is small, I get really irritated. But I thought maybe it would be a little cumbersome. I love my 3DS and I love the size of it. I have an XL. And I thought maybe this is gonna be too big for me to really play handheld for an extended period of time. And I haven't had that experience. I've really enjoyed it. It's super comfortable, and I like having that option. It's something I thought would maybe feel gimmicky or I'm not actually going to use this way, but I really am, and I like playing handheld actually probably more than any other way. I
was taken aback by how good it looks when you're playing handheld. I mean, obviously it's not like 3DS graphics. We know it's better, but I still like pulling it out. There's our tech editor Jimmy right now trying it out, but. I looked at it. I was playing Breath of the Wild last night. I had this moment where I docked it, and then I was like, shit, I got to go make dinner.
I don't have pockets that big. What the heck?
I'm not going to put it in my pocket, but maybe I don't have nice khakis like Jimmy does. But this thing, Pete, what are your thoughts on the portability aspects? I think you said you played a fair amount of Breath of the Wild in handheld, right?
Yeah, super comfortable to hold. It's my preferred way to play Zelda at the moment. But I've spent a lot of time with the game, so I have this very personal connection to it, and to just sort of tuck into a couch and just be there with it, and right in front of my face. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's still just as good on a TV, But in terms of portability, so far so good. The battery life is basically about 3 hours, which I think is fair given what the system is. It's hard to compare it to something like an iPhone or a 3DS, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is running games that I've never seen run this. Zelda just looks incredible on this playing it in handheld mode, and I've never seen a game look that good on a portable device before. So,
yeah. I mean, we talked about this several episodes ago about games that are made specifically for a handheld that you're playing in 10, 15 minutes at a time on your commute.
Sorry, someone in the Twitch chat, forgive me if I didn't see your name in time. It was 0XS just said, is that a Nintendo Switch in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Sorry. Kelly, I'm so sorry.
Never mind.
That caught me
You
off
interrupted
guard.
her for that?
I caught me off guard. I'm sorry. Like it was funny after seeing Jimmy put the Nintendo Switch in his package.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just saw that and I couldn't. Yeah.
What was I talking about? Games that
thank
are
you.
designed for handheld that you play like on a commute and you can kind of stop and start versus games that are Switch games are maybe more geared towards you're not playing on the go, but you have the option to take it with you and then set it up wherever your destination is, I think is
Yeah.
the difference.
Buy a carrying case. I can tell you, I've been using
Yeah,
one and it's
for sure.
great. I just put it right in my backpack. I don't worry about it. But
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
scared for every Switch in the office that doesn't have a screen protector or a case because
I
these are going to get banged around.
Yeah, I remember I was really nervous putting it in my backpack. I was like, I put like a sweater around it, and I'm like, I'm doing all these
Yeah.
like low tech hacks because I don't have a carrying case right now.
Yeah, I put like a Breath of the Wild T-shirt around it that I found on my desk. It was appropriate.
That works.
What was like the Kelly, from your experience when you were playing? You said you prefer handheld. Did you take it out, or were you mainly just going to different rooms in like your apartment or something?
Oh, I was just kind of hanging out in the house. I've been hesitant to take it out like on the train just because of embargo stuff. Honestly, I don't want people to like bug me, and I don't want people to talk to me when I'm on the train. For like any time, I never want people to talk to me on the train. Or anytime. But ever.
Okay, well,
right,
Pete,
so Mike,
so what do you think of this?
I was so tempted because I took a longer train than I normally do the other day, and I was like, oh, I really want to take this out and play, and then I restrained myself. But for the most part, just taking it from the office to my house to a different room in the house is like, I just love that I don't have to stop playing because I'm cooking something.
Yeah.
And my room is downstairs and the kitchen's upstairs.
We kind of touched on this already, but using Breath of the Wild as like a frame of reference, how do things look on the Switch?
They look great. I mean, there's very little, if any, anti-aliasing. So you see some jaggies, but that game's art style kind of drives. It's more than that though. It's the game supports like when it does chug, it's because it's dealing with a lot of like physical logic in terms of like, okay, well, how do you move through grass and how does wind affect grass, like those sort of things. So it actually looks technically impressive in some ways, but clearly there's striking a balance between visual fidelity and frame rate and all that. But I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I really like the way Zelda looks on it.
Yeah, like I said, I liked how it looks a lot in handheld, and it felt pretty good in handheld. The one thing I noticed, I don't know if this was just like the Switch I was using, the Joy-Cons felt slightly loose when I was holding it in handheld, like kind of. It didn't feel like one thing. It felt like I could tell they were separate from the tablet a little bit. It wasn't like they were falling off, but they were a tiny bit like.
Yeah, the one that we are sharing
Maybe that's it.
is like that, but for the most part, they aren't like that.
Okay.
Yeah, mine doesn't feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe we just put them in weird.
Maybe you broke it.
It's my fault. Yeah.
There was a time where I found myself like wondering if that was the case, and I was kind of just like torquing them a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I thought you said twerking. You said torquing. Okay.
well, torquing.
I thought
while
you said
twerking.
twerking. You were twerking with your Nintendo
Yeah,
Switch.
yeah.
twerking them.
I could show you.
Do it.
No. And it was like, okay, if I really, really try, I can feel this give. But like under normal circumstances, I feel like this thing is really sturdy. That said, don't drop it. I don't trust that the latches are really that sturdy. So you're gonna have to baby this thing. It's not gonna be like a phone you can toss around or your 3DS. I don't think it'll be this like really durable piece of equipment. It's still not a console, right? But it's something you need to be mindful of.
Not everyone's as strong as you, though.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm a real strong dude.
you should also just take care of your belongings, I think.
Sure. Big blank spot in our knowledge of the Switch is like internet capabilities, right?
Yeah, who knows?
Calvin Delaney on Twitter kind of just answered the question, but he said, does the Switch have a way to sign into the internet on trains or in hospitals? Does it have a browser?
There's no browser that I've seen, but what I do know that I can confirm, which I think is pretty rad, is that it will support like connections to networks where you have to like go to a web page to log in.
Oh.
So yes, like maybe the hospital, maybe the hotel. Here on our Wi-Fi network, because we can't, for whatever reason, get on certain networks wirelessly, that'll work. Yes.
What do you think of the home menu, the browser in general? Sorry,
Super
like
slick.
the console browser.
Slick right
Yeah.
now, but it's all pretty basic. Like they're adding a few things come launch day, but I love the little sound effects. I love the little animations. It doesn't feel overburdened like any other mobile device I'm used to using. It's cleaner than the 3DS. It's cleaner than the Vita.
Yeah.
It's just a really slick interface that just has what you need.
Callie, you're saying you prefer to play it handheld again, but how did you feel like actually switching between the TV and the handheld? Like how fast was it? How responsive? How simple to use is it?
It wasn't that difficult. The only thing I had trouble with is I didn't read the instructions very well, and so it was like, oh, press L and R and then A, and I was just pressing L and R because I just didn't
To
read
switch
it.
to handheld?
Yeah, to get the because I put the Joy-Cons in the kind of the boxy looking controller configuration, which looks a lot more uncomfortable than it is. Like I said, it's all the
Feels a
controller.
little small, but
It feels a
works.
little small, but the controller configurations for the most part all work for me pretty well, depending on what I'm playing. But yeah, that was just a user error where I just didn't read the instructions because I was so excited to play.
But by and large, you
But
put
it's
it in the
pretty
dock
easy.
and like 2 seconds later it's on your TV.
Yeah, it's not.
You
It's
pull it out and you're ready to go.
super convenient, and well, I guess that's not really the word I was looking for. It doesn't feel cumbersome. It doesn't feel like a chore. Like,
It's
oh,
seamless.
I gotta get up and do this and then wait for it to change. It's just it just happens.
Last question on Twitter from Kirsten Huston. Kind of a future question. Do you think Nintendo will follow Sony and Microsoft's lead in releasing like a Switch Pro or something similar to that
absolutely.
concept?
Yeah.
They have to, right?
I mean, they already do that with 3DS also. I mean, like they have a
The
precedent.
XL,
There's a
right.
precedent for that.
Yeah, but I think it's even more likely now because they're working with NVIDIA to make their chips, and NVIDIA is a company that goes through iterations of their hardware, and it's not like Nintendo has to have someone make really like custom stuff for them, right? And I think the form factor will allow you to replace something just like the tablet or just the controllers without having to do the whole package. So I would not be surprised. In fact, I expect them to do it.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.